Hello, I'm Dima, and today I want to talk about the terrain generation sequence in the open world bakery. As I have explained earlier in the video about the bakery concepts, the plugin's first step is to place some more or less geologically reasonable primitives on the plane. If you haven't seen the bakery concepts video, here is the link to it. So first we put our primitives on the plane. The second stage is distortion. We need our surface as if it is a dough. With the bakery you have the whole arsenal of controllable distortions. And of course we have the random Perlin-based distortion. You can find the showcase of all the deformations bakery provides in the example project. See the link below this video. You can safely open and explore this example project without the plugin installed. So, after we have distorted our primitives enough, goes the next stage, soil generation. The initial terrain is considered to be a rock, and then some randomly varied layer of rock is turned to soil, somewhat like this. And the final stage is erosion. Usually first goes gravity erosion and then water erosion. This soil erosion sequence could be repeated several times. So, with this in mind, we are going to quickly create some extinct volcano and see each of these steps in action. And we will compare the results of one erosion sequence versus 2 or 3. So that's just a blank third-person project. We're gonna create a new level with landscape on it, all the generic stuff. Enable layers, choose some material. I want it to be huge. We will bake huge terrain after all. Now save it. Save it here. Okay. Now let's switch here. Fill blended layers for material mapping. Now switch to select, back to landscape, pick blueprint, choose open world bakery blueprint. Alright, so we have our bakery attached. Now let's go to select, and it's time to add the first hill. So we have our plane here. Okay, we attach this hill to the bakery, and here is our blank plane. We put it in the middle as advertised, and you can already here, let's move the bakery out of the map. Okay, so you can already hear a hill here, right? And as I know, for the map of this size 2000, we need to upscale it. Let's do it. Okay, so that's how it looks. And let's increase resolution so artifacts will be smaller. And let's start. So this first hill is going to be our ground. It's going to be, I think, like this, huge, and it's going to be lower but bigger, and it's going to be star, but not with one angle but with 8 angles, right? Yes, and it's not going to be that sharp. It's going to be hardly visible, just to push water down this slopes, right? So let's copy paste it, and now we are going to create the mountain base. Still the star, yes, but 2 or 3 of them. It's gonna be higher, maybe, I don't know, size, no, smaller, yeah, rotation, yes, anyone you choose. Y scale, yeah, please. Ripple height, probably, yeah, I want that too, but with frequency from 2 to 5. You can see this ripple here already, so that's what I need, more or less. Eccentric, yes, some. Maybe that was too much, but okay, let it be. So 8, I think maybe 7 to 8 angles, and it's gonna be a little bit sharper, I think. Yeah, that's going to be the base of our volcano. Now let's create, let's rename it, right? And this tongues are going to be our lava rivers later. You will see that. So okay, now we are going to create the body, right? Randomized, yes, 3 to 5, I think that's enough. It's gonna be high this time. Maybe not that high, but we will try it later. It's gonna be small. Alright. And it's gonna be pyramid, right? Yes. And it's gonna be, no, the size isn't right. It should be like, maybe that's too much. Yes, something like this. So we here can see our main body of the mountain and some tongues going out of it where old lava paths should be. Scale now, convex now, just maybe here, like yeah, I want to save it all, I guess. And so this looks more or less as I wanted, and now it's time to add the final part. Crater. And this is going to be a little bit different because we're going to apply it as subtract, right? As you can see, if we subtract a huge body, this leads not to what we wanted, though this looks funny as well. So this is pyramid, yes, but only one instance. And really low one, and the real small one, maybe like this, I don't know. Okay, no, that's not how it should be. Maybe yeah, that's more or less what we need. So we have this unpredictable subtraction at top. I think I should make it even smaller. Yeah. So that's our first step about putting primitives on the plane. Here are our primitives, and I think it's time to make some screenshots. Let's save it first. Then we will establish 2 points of view, like this one, Ctrl+1 to save the position. And let's find the second spot to view it. Something like this. Ctrl+2. Okay, so now we have our landscape draft with primitives, and it's time. Oh, wait a second, I want to add one more distortion, because so the problem is when you add distortions, the seed for the following items changes and distortions go first, so the whole landscape changes. So I have added third distortion, and I think now I will make sure I have the same spots and update screenshots. You can see the picture is quite different because of another seed actually. So anyway, this is our base shapes, just a little bit of distortion here, ripples, and now I'm going to use these distortions, right? So I want to have 3 of them, one high scale, one medium scale, and one low scale. Let it be like this, so 1/5 part of the map will be distorted at once. This will give some pretty similar to these shapes, like smooth and huge. The second one will be 2 times smaller and pretty strong, and we will need a smallest distortion like this. This will give us kind of random noise on the terrain. So now we select all the hills and add distortions here. Now as you can see, if you add same distortion 3 times, it is the same as adding this distortion with power 3 times bigger than scale, so it just blows the map. We don't need that, we want it like this. Alright, that looks more or less promising. Now let's make screenshots again. You can hardly recognize it, but still you can see some similarities, right? So this tongue turns to this. Okay, now let's second spot. So as you can see, this already starting to look more or less natural. And now we will just add a basic. We turn off bake base terrain only checkbox and bake the world with one normal cycle of erosion. Alright, so you can see this extinct old volcano now looks more or less like a volcano. You can imagine these are old lava rivers and something like this, and there is like a lake in the old crater. Let's make screenshots again. Second spot. Okay, now I think it's time to go to Open World Bakery baking blueprint and switch baking mode from normal to Errosion Plus, and later on we will switch it to Errosion Plus Plus. So let's bake it heavily eroded. As you can see, heavy erosion requires more stages for baking. It runs several cycles of soil movement. Okay, you can see the difference already, right? So let's make a screenshot again. Let's go to the first spot. Screen. And it's time to bake Errosion Plus Plus. This has even more stages, as you can see. It was 24 for Errosion Plus and 30 for Errosion Plus Plus. This will give us a really geologically aged space. You see almost all the shapes are smoothed. There are deep riverbeds all around. So let's make a screenshot of this. Second spot. Okay, so that's about it for this. As you can see, no lake here already because it was all washed all the ways here and there. So it's really smooth and heavily eroded terrain here. So that's a sequence of terrain generation live. We can take a quick look at it again. So that's how our terrain looked at the first stage, where we only had primitives on the plane. Then we get this terrain distorted, so you can see how these primitives turn into this twisted mess, and then we applied some erosion over this, more and more erosion until the land turns. So, and we have one thing left, I guess. We want to bake our terrain full scale. This will take some time, so I will have to cut and I will make screenshots, and we will have the whole sequence from ground up, and we will see the evolution of the terrain from the primitives on the plane to the final stages of baking. Okay, so that's how heavily eroded terrain look like if we bake it with full resolution. Deep riverbeds everywhere because we have these slopes from the beginning, so it's washing soil heavily. Let's have these spots. Okay, now I think it's time to run a little bit over this terrain. So where is our player start? Let's dig it out. These are lakes on the top of our mountain where the crater was. So this is the crater edge. These are sharp, washed away terrain. So that's how it looks like. About 2 kilometers wide. And there's rocks and landslides and all that. Okay, and I think we should bake it in normal mode, full scale once, and that will be it, I guess. Okay. Okay, it's ready. So that's normal one cycle erosion of our extinct volcano picture. We have almost intact crater here and all that stuff. Let's make again our screenshots. Alright, so I think we can run a little bit more here. So this is a lake. This is the lake edge. Something like this. Can move and see how it looks from the side. Okay, so let's see once again the whole sequence of our terrain creation from the beginning to the end. So that was our primitives. That's from where we started. Then we added some distorts. That's how it looked like then. Then we added some erosion, one cycle in low res. Then we add even more erosion. Like this. And so it goes to full erosion, and this is normal erosion in high res with these tongues still in place, and this heavy erosion when most of the terrain is water washed, almost no lakes here. So that's about it, guys, for this terrain and for the sequence of the operations in the open world bakery. Like, subscribe, use the plugin, Good luck. Bye.